So today I'll be continuing with my schedule discussion and point spread prediction videos. Today I'll be doing Arkansas. So I was surprised when Arkansas decided to keep Sam Pittman as their head coach for this season because it doesn't really seem to be working there with him. Uh, he had a good year in 2021 where they went 9-4, which for Arkansas that's a really good year. They almost never go 9-4. Uh, and then there were high expectations for them in 2022, and they weren't as good. They only finished 7-6, and then in 2023 they were expected to be at least as good as they were in 2022, maybe a little better, and they got worse again. They were only 4-8. They were terrible. They only got one conference win coming against Florida in overtime, who also missed a bowl game. And I don't really think that Pittman is a bad coach, really. I don't think he's a good coach at all, but the truth is, Arkansas is just a dead end job for a football coach because they're just a terrible program. They can't recruit well at all, and well, now there's the transfer portal, so you don't even need to recruit well. Arkansas can't even get uh, good players from the transfer portal to come over because even the ones that mainly care about money uh, don't want to play there because they want to win a lot of games too. Uh, so I'm 99% sure that uh, mm, on December 1st, Sam Pittman will no longer be the head coach of Arkansas. Uh, I think there's a good chance he gets let go before the season's even over. Uh, with how hard this schedule is, and uh, Arkansas probably has the second worst roster in the SEC this year behind Vanderbilt, and they were uh, except for Vanderbilt and maybe Florida, the worst team in the SEC last year, and he was kept because he brought in someone good to try to fix their offense, which was really bad last year. They only averaged like 22 points a game, and their defense was bad too last year, but their offense was even worse. He brought in Bobby Petrino to be their offensive coordinator. And this is a very weird hire uh, because I remember when I first started watching football in the early 2010s, he was the head coach of Arkansas, and that was during their best times. But then he got fired for non-football reasons. So they've rehired someone to their coaching staff that they've fired. And I know he's not the head coach, but still, it's weird. But I think it's a good hire for them. He is a good offensive play caller, and it's not really about the players this year. I think just with the Bobby Petrino calling the plays, they'll be better on offense because it's not like Arkansas is loaded with playmakers on offense. But I think his scheme will help them be able to score a little easier this year. And he was at Texas A&M last season, and he did help improve their offense. And mm, mm, so I don't really think that though uh, mm, uh, they're going to be able to win more than 4 games this year. And so taking a look at this schedule, I do see 3 games on here that should all be pretty easy wins for Arkansas. Arkansas Pine Bluff. They've got to win that one, or Pittman will be fired after the first game. And then UAB and Louisiana Tech. Those aren't given wins for Arkansas, but they should be pretty easy wins. And then in the non-conference, they have a road game against Oklahoma State. That's going to be a really tough one. I don't think Arkansas will be able to win that one. Oklahoma State, their roster isn't really a lot better than Arkansas's, but their players are better developed and more experienced. And Oklahoma State's a tough place to play too. Mm, and uh, then next in the conference, they have on the road at Auburn, a game that uh, is probably going to be a loss. Auburn is a really tough place to play, and I think they're better than Arkansas, but they're not so much better than them that Arkansas would have no chance to win this game. With this schedule discussion, it's really just me trying to find games that they might be able to win. And next, they have Texas A&M, an old rivalry. Mm, it'll be a neutral game played in Arlington, Texas. Mm, Probably a loss for Arkansas, uh, but it's a game that they'll have a chance in. I think Texas A&M probably won't be great this year. And then Tennessee, uh, so probably a loss, but I think they'll have a little bit of a chance with it being at home. And next, they get their first week off before LSU. I guess that's an okay time for a week off, but would have probably been better to have it before the Auburn game because that seems a little more winnable. Uh, Arkansas has not beat LSU very much recently, but they have given LSU a whole lot of trouble in the past. And so maybe they would have a little bit of a chance to pull an upset with it being a home game for Arkansas, uh, but still probably a loss. And then they have on the road at Mississippi State. So this is a game that is very winnable for Arkansas. Mississippi State probably won't be much, if any, better than Arkansas this year, but the problem is it's on the road. If it was at home, their rosters are close enough to where I think Arkansas would probably be favored in it. And then mm, Ole Miss and Texas, they get a week off in between those two, and this is not a good time for a week off because mm, mm, I know these are going to be two really good teams, but Arkansas just has pretty much no chance of winning either one of those games. And Texas, I'll go ahead and tell you, Arkansas has zero chance of winning that one. And Ole Miss, the only reason I'm saying Arkansas doesn't have a 0% chance of beating them is because of Ole Miss's struggles with Arkansas in the past. Mm, I've been watching football for over 10 years, and Ole Miss and Arkansas have played every year since then, and I've still not seen Ole Miss beat Arkansas at Arkansas. Uh, but if Ole Miss is as good as they're supposed to be, and I think they're going to be, then that should change this year. And uh, at the end there, they have on the road at Missouri, probably a loss, but they'll have a little bit of a chance. But if Missouri's as good as they're being hyped up to be, that's very likely a loss for Arkansas. Um, and this schedule is really tough, and it could be even worse because uh, now that divisions are gone in the SEC, Arkansas doesn't have to play Alabama, who's been their owner for the past more than a decade and a half. In Nick Saban's 17 years as Alabama's head coach, Arkansas was 0-17 against them. Uh, and they also don't have to play Georgia either, which that's a good thing. And you probably would have rather, if you're an Arkansas fan, have had that second week off before Mississippi State. Mm, uh, they could go 3-9 this year for real, because I don't think they'll be favored in any conference games this year. But I will give Arkansas some credit last year, as bad as they were. They did play some of uh, the best SEC teams tough. Uh, they only lost by 3 points to Alabama, who was the best team in the SEC. Right, Georgia fans? Mm, mm, remember a 27-24 defeat in the SEC championship game? And also, they only lost by 3 to LSU, and they only lost by 7 to Ole Miss. So maybe they could be able to get a win or two in the conference this year. Mm, and now I'll move on to the prediction. Mm, so, uh, the games that in the green are games where I think that Arkansas will be a blowout favorite, 20 or more points, and there's three of those: Arkansas, Pine Bluff, UAB, and Louisiana Tech. And the games in the yellow are games where I think uh, Arkansas will be about a touchdown underdog, so 6 to 9 points, and there's five of those: Oklahoma State, Auburn, Texas A&M, Tennessee, and LSU. Uh, and the games in the orange are games where I think Arkansas will be a double-digit underdog, 10 to 19 points, and there's three of those: Ole Miss, Texas, and Missouri. And the games in the gray are games where I think Arkansas will be about a field goal underdog, 1 to 5 points, and uh, there's one of those: Mississippi State. And if you want to learn more about how I do point spreads, you can go back and watch my Ohio State video. I talk about it more in that. But Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Arkansas will be favored in that one by like 6 touchdowns. They'll destroy them. And UAB and Louisiana Tech, the spread in that one may only be in the low 20s, because they are FBS teams, but they're not Power Four, and Arkansas is for sure not a good team in the Power Four, even though they are Power Four. Uh, and Oklahoma State, I think, will be favored to beat Arkansas by about 7 points. But I won't be shocked if it actually ends up being more than that. And Auburn, I think, will be about a 6 point favorite against Arkansas. If that was at Arkansas, it would be in the gray. And Texas A&M, I think, will be about a 6 point favorite against Arkansas. And I think Arkansas will be about a 7 point uh, underdog against Tennessee. That'd be in the orange if it was at Tennessee. And LSU, I think, will be favored to beat Arkansas by about 7. And Ole Miss, I think the spread in that one will be about 2 touchdowns, at 14 points. And Texas, I think Arkansas will be at least a 17 point underdog in that one, maybe 18 or 19 points, and wouldn't even be shocking if they're a blowout underdog in it. But right now, I'll say because it's at Arkansas, they won't quite be a 20 point underdog. Uh, and then Missouri, Arkansas will probably be around a 10 point underdog in that one. because it's on the road. If it was at home, it'd probably be more like a touchdown. Mm, but I wouldn't be shocked if Bobby Petrino is Arkansas's head coach again for some games this season, because Pittman probably won't last the whole season, and he's got head coaching experience. Petrino does. But that'll be it with this video, and please subscribe, and thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon.